everybody. Chris here again with Stay Dry Roofing, along with
Beau Weston.
Beau Weston. And we're still up in the attic space, taking a few minutes to talk about things that happen with your home, where your memories are made, and our greatest investments, and we're calling it Attic Talk up here in the attic space. Beau, you spend a lot of time in attics.
I do.
A lot of time.
Yes, sir.
Looking around. There's one thing I know that you've talked a lot about when you get inside an attic. Outside of roofing, you're walking around and you notice there's something maybe missing or not enough of in an attic. What is that?
That would be our insulation.
Attic insulation. Okay, now for a homeowner, maybe they know, maybe they don't. They could be a first-time homeowner here. What is the purpose and point of attic insulation?
So the main purpose of the attic insulation is to keep all of your conditioned air actually inside of your house and not escaping into your attic space. One of the major issues that you see with a lot of homes is that they do not have enough insulation. So if you ever see, where you could see the top of your rafters across your attic space, you're significantly low on that insulation. Essentially, when your HVAC and everything's running, if you have all of your heat inside your house is escaping through here, that's causing you to pay more for your heating and cooling bills. And it's just one of those things that it's a necessary part of a home.
So in the let's say wintertime, because you mentioned heat. So in the wintertime, does that tend to be most common when people maybe notice that they don't have enough attic insulation, or is it kind of equal both winter and summer? What's common?
It's kind of interesting because, so in the winter, a lot of times what you'll notice is heating costs begin to kind of go up exponentially at that point. And it makes it a little bit less comfortable in the home. It's a lot harder to keep it at a comfortable temperature. Now, in the summertime, what you'll notice, and especially in two-story homes, is maybe that upstairs isn't staying as cool as the downstairs. And then again, also that AC unit's running constantly, and that's as you hear that fan going outside, it's typically dollar signs that come along with that.
So in your opinion, being somebody who I know you used to blow in insulation, climb all through attics and doing roofing and looking at all this stuff, so you mentioned a couple things. Number one, it can help save people a lot of money. Is that fair? Like over the year, heating and cooling?
Definitely.
Okay, and then I would assume if your HVAC system is constantly running, does that put a lot of wear and tear on that system? Or could it put a lot of, maybe that's a better way of asking.
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, none of those systems are designed to be running, 24/7, right? Ideally, you want your house to get to a temperature, and then you really only have that exchange when windows are opened or doors are opened, and it lets that air change with inside the house. And so it should kick on every once in a while. But if you're having that issue where it's just running constantly, absolutely. It wear and tear on that system, and then eventually, it needs replaced earlier than it should.
And then, so I know every house is probably a little different. I mean, I'm sure every layout's a little different. Every attic space is a little different. Roughly, if you had to give a general idea, how much insulation should someone have that should help them keep those costs down, help keep that system from running constantly? What's usually a good average of insulation someone should have?
Roughly 14 to 18 inches. It also, matters the kind of insulation that you have up there as well. So a lot of older homes will have cellulose insulation, which kind of looks like chopped up newspaper, dusty stuff. What happens with that over time is it'll start to kind of settle and shrink.
Okay.
And when that happens, you actually lose that R value, or that resistance to airflow.
So R value, that's kind of what that means. Sorry, that's a term. So if you've ever heard anybody talk about R value, it's the resistance to airflow.
That's how I remember that.
Okay.
But roughly 14 to 18 inches in an attic space is usually enough to where you're not going to have, crazy bills and stuff out there when it comes to
So if, and I know a lot of homeowners, and we've talked a lot about this, that's why we're up in the attic, because we live here with our job, right?
Absolutely.
They don't spend a lot of time in their attic space, but if they were to pop their head up there and they do see, you mentioned the rafters, to where it's kind of settled down below, would you recommend, even if it's not stay dry, but would you recommend they get a hold of a professional to kind of do a little bit of an assessment?
Absolutely, and what's really important as well is that it's done correctly too. It's not the most difficult thing to do, but it's something it's necessary to be done correctly as well.
Cool. So if you guys have ever noticed crazy hot upstairs in the summer, or your HVAC system, your heating and cooling is constantly running, or bills are getting higher and higher in time, get a hold of someone you can trust, a trusted contractor, someone who can take a look at this thing and see if it's something as simple as some attic insulation that can help your family save thousands of dollars throughout the year. And again, my name is Chris, and this is
Beau.
This is Beau. If you'd love to have maybe Beau come out and do an inspection for you, Beau, how could they reach you? Could they just call the office, or how would you recommend they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you call the office and mention attic insulation, I've been doing it for about 5 years now, so it's they likely will refer me out to there, and I'd be happy to check it out and let you know where you're at.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Beau, for joining me up here in the attic. And again, guys, we'd love to do anything we can to help you protect your greatest investment, which is your home, and obviously where your memories are made. So give us a call. We'd love to be there, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks, guys.